Hey guys, Mostacular back again with Hyperion Television, bringing you game number 3 of this Intel Extreme Masters series between DeMuslim and WhiteRa. We're back on Xel'Naga Caverns, and WhiteRa spawning down in the bottom left position as the blue Protoss. DeMuslim in the upper right position. DeMuslim took game 1 with some great Banshee plays. We talked about game 2. DeMuslim went with an all-in 3 racks SCV push there, and did not pay off. WhiteRa was able to hold that off and took game number 2. So here we are in game 3 on Xel'Naga Caverns in this best of 5 series. So we're going into game 3. I'm very excited. So far, these players have been playing very well. Interesting to see if we're going to see any more cheese from these players, as DeMuslim was eager to get all those SCVs. He pulled probably 10, 15 SCVs in that attack in game number 2, and it just did not pay off. WhiteRa was setting up for a 4-gate push at that time, and that ended up winning him the game. So let's see if he tries a similar approach this game. That was game 2 was on Kulas Ravine, a very large map. Xel'Naga Caverns also a large 1v1 map, so could be interesting to see what these players try to do. We did see a Reaper come out from DeMuslim. Perhaps we'll see another this game, as he was able to get a good number of probe kills with it before he eventually did end up losing that game. Barracks going down now for DeMuslim back at WhiteRa's base. Pylon and Gateway going down, chrono boosting out that first batch of probes. Putting his assimilator down as well on 14 supply. Refinery now in production back at DeMuslim's base. WhiteRa going ahead and putting a Pylon up that way, perhaps a scout. Any flying units that might come up in the future in the later stages of the game, or perhaps he'll be putting some kind of proxy structure over there, such as a Stargate or a Templar Archives, Dark Archon, Dark Shrine, things like that. You know, players like to do that as Protoss, hide their heavy-hitting structures off to the side there to throw off their opponents. So that first gateway is finished for WhiteRa. Cybernex core coming down now, and here comes the SCV scouting for DeMuslim. WhiteRa not scouting at all yet. There he goes now. Relatively late scout coming out on about 18 supply after throwing down that Cybernex core. Let's look back at the Terran base. Orbital Command finishing up second supply depot. And that barracks lifting off and now putting down a reactor, so we're not going to see a Reaper or any kind of Reaper play like we saw in game number 2. SCV of DeMuslim is in the base, scouting things. Does see that second assimilator go down. You see WhiteRa, you might be curious why he's scouting along this back position, just making sure that no proxy barracks are being put down, as Terran players will put barracks back in this area here and start flooding your base with Marines. And actually a little bit late to scout that, but there he is now scouting it. He does see that there's nothing like that going on. Now WhiteRa just being very careful with his scouting here. I think he's worried that now that he's evened the series up, the way that he all-in last game, DeMuslim did, WhiteRa might be worried that DeMuslim's going to be trying some other kind of cheese strategy and is checking everywhere he can to get as much vision of the map as possible to make sure that everything looks kind of okay. DeMuslim moving that SCV around, just one Zealot. That first Stalker is going to come out soon and take care of things. Marines scared off that probe of WhiteRa, so WhiteRa going to have to find a place to hide for now with that probe. Denied scouting information. He never got into the base to see the second barracks, and now a factory going down now for DeMuslim. Stalker is out. It's going to scare off the SCV. So let's see. Yes, and here's that Pylon coming into play already with the Twilight Council coming down for WhiteRa. So good job there, putting that Pylon up there with a plan in mind. He's already had a plan, and I would guess that would involve some kind of Blink Stalker play from WhiteRa. More unconventional things might be that he might go for a fast Dark Shrine and do some kind of Dark Templar attack, but more than likely we'll see from WhiteRa some Blink Stalkers. Should be a very exciting match here, as DeMuslim continues to pump out Marines from his reactor and his second barracks. The factory putting out Hellions, so might not be enough time for Blink to come out in this game, as there are a lot of Marines and a Hellion coming out. That might be a push coming soon from DeMuslim. WhiteRa does have control of both Xel'Naga towers here on the map, so he's going to be able to see any attack coming, but he doesn't have much to defend it. He does have 1 sentry building up energy, almost has enough for 2 force fields. More gateways coming down now, 2 gateways in production. Oh, look, there it is. There's a Dark Shrine now in production. So WhiteRa really is going for this surprising build. Dark Shrine in production, but look, here comes the push now from DeMuslim, and that Dark Shrine takes forever to complete. 100 seconds. It's only at 43, 44, 45 seconds, so not going to make it in time. I don't think he's going to need to use force fields, WhiteRa, to hold this off, but he doesn't have enough Vespene gas. He needs to get a second sentry out here. He's not going to be able to hold off for very long with just 1 sentry. There's a second sentry now. Keep an eye on that production tab as that Dark Shrine is finishing back at the base of DeMuslim. Stim pack being researched. Starport going down. Here comes the first Hellion getting up into the base. he has to do everything he can to make sure that it does not spot that Dark Shrine up in the corner. He's doing everything. Oh no! It looks like DeMuslim ended up pulling back with his Marines, but critically, he spotted a structure in production. He saw the Twilight Council, and he saw another structure in production, so he knew. And look at this, immediately, 2 Dark Templar in production, but there's a Raven coming out now. There is a proxy pylon here, but look, 2 Dark Templars are coming as a wall-off goes down for DeMuslim. He realizes he needs to wall off quickly and get out that first Raven to detect. And here comes the DTs now, slashing away at these engineering bays. They're beefy structures, very cheap, but beefy. So he's trying to keep those up as long as he can. More Dark Templars are coming, and I think WhiteRa may have done himself in here. He let that Hellion up. I think if he'd been able to stop that Hellion from seeing the Dark Shrine, this game could have gone differently, as this Raven may not have come out. And look at this, now repairing these engineering bays. Another Templar just kind of hanging out here, not doing much. WhiteRa taking an expansion now, and uh-oh, here comes the Ravens, and there goes one of those DTs very fast. And now the push coming from DeMuslim. He's not going to take any more of this DT crap. Probably going to push down the ramp and make another move on WhiteRa. WhiteRa here being anxious with this DT. Let's see if he's going to be able to get him out. Uh-oh. The Raven does spot him and takes it out very quickly. Nexus is complete for WhiteRa, now transitioning into more robotics facility stuff. Forage is down, researching charge, transferring probes, but let's look at the Army tab. It's 56 to 59, so Army tab surprisingly even, but at the same time, there's a lot of stimmed up Marines, Marauders. There's a Raven there, so point defense drones could go into play, although there's not enough energy yet for that. There's the probe of WhiteRa scouting that attack coming in, so charge is not ready yet. Let's look at the production tab. No charge yet, so those Marines are going to be able to easily micro those Zealots. There goes the stim now. More Zealots coming in. Nice force fields, though, by WhiteRa. Trying to slow that army down as best he can. Good force fields, trying to trap these Marines. The Zealots push in on the Marines. Getting a decent surround, but the Marines are just chewing through the Zealots as more stims go down. And WhiteRa in a very tough spot now. Where did the Raven go? Did the Raven fall? No, the Raven's still over there with weak health. If he could somehow warp in a Dark Templar or two and force that Raven to be destroyed, he might stand a chance. But right now, DeMuslim, very strong position right now. Reinforcements coming down. There's 2 medevacs loaded up with troops to, hasten that attack. Here goes a huge number of Zealots. Charge is complete, though. Stims up does DeMuslim, but look at this. Excellent micro. The charge not doing any good right now. DeMuslim just microing his way across the map now, just trying to chew up those Zealots, and he is going to get those. Back at the natural nexus, the dropships have arrived and dropped off their troops, and WhiteRa is forced to call good game. So, we saw that pylon go down early on, and we were thinking maybe, yeah, we're going to see some kind of interesting Blink play, perhaps Dark Templar play from WhiteRa, and he did do that. Excuse me, WhiteRa. That's a tongue twister for me. And he did do that with the Dark Templars, and they just did not pay off. That one Hellion from DeMuslim did an excellent job scouting the base and spotted that Dark Shrine going down, and the Raven came out and perhaps saved the game as DeMuslim was able to put down those engineering bays and block that ramp. If that ramp hadn't been blocked, the DTs could have gotten into the base and done a lot more damage. So excellent job by DeMuslim. He took game 3, so he leads this best-of-5 series 2-1. So he's playing for match point. WhiteRa needs to win the next game to stay in it. Stay tuned for more, guys, on Hyperion Television. I'm Mostacular. Thanks for watching, and good luck. Have Batman.